A word of warning if you plan to watch this movie and you care about spoilers, I'm about to spoil the out of it. That's how annoyed this film made me. Last night, May 31st, I went to go see Tornado. Indie film, I believe, period piece, revenge type movie. That was the basic stuff I knew about it. I knew it involved a Japanese girl taking revenge on people for the death of her father. And the synopsis of the film, which I didn't fully read before I went to go see it, and I didn't watch the trailer, it says this. I'll give you one example. Maybe two. A traveling samurai show in Britain in 1790 crosses paths with ruthless criminals, but one of the performers, Tornado, hatches a plan to play them at their own game. Okay, another one. A Japanese puppeteer's daughter gets caught up with criminals when their show crosses paths with a crime gang led by Sugarman and his son Little Sugar. And then at one point, one of the other synopsis writings that I saw was something about how she crosses paths with them and she goes to avenge the death of her father, something along those lines. You're like, okay, revenge piece. This sounds interesting. Well, it's false advertising. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give you the basics of how this film starts and everything that I can think of that's wrong with it, and probably I'll forget stuff because I'm still angry about it. But it takes place, as one of the things said, 1790. That's true. British Isles. It starts off very strong for me. I was captivated from the beginning and held captivated for the first 15 minutes because it starts off, it's showing a girl is running away from these people that are after her, and behind her trails this little boy who's also running away. So you're like, wow, what the heck happened? What is going on? It was gripping to me because there really wasn't much dialogue, just all this running. She ends up going and hiding in a house. The gang comes to the house. They don't find her. They start to leave, and she creeps out of her hiding place far too early. That was one of the things I was like, why are you leaving? So I would be hanging around for a bit, like maybe a few hours to make sure they're really gone. Well, she doesn't. She comes creeping out of her little hidey hole and she gets caught by the son of the gang leader. And he says something to her about where did she hide it and something. Sometimes it was a little hard to understand what they were saying, but obviously you know that this is connected with whatever it is that involved this chase. So he has to go and pretend to his father that he doesn't know she's there because he wants to get this money for himself, the money that she's hidden. So you know something's going on involving money. He tells the girl that he's going to come back and she better not leave. And then he tells one of the other girls that lives in the house who had stumbled upon this whole thing, he says, if she leaves, I'm going to kill you. So when he takes off, and he has to go somewhere else because he doesn't want his father to know he's found this chick. The chick who's on the run, her name is Tornado. She tells the girl of the house, he won't kill you, and then she runs off. Well, when she said that, I was like, well, how does she know? Number one, does she even know him? That wasn't clear to me in the beginning. I'm feeling like, yes, she knew of him because this gang was a notorious gang of the area. So if she didn't know him, it would be stupid to say he won't kill you. How does she know that? If she doesn't know him, she has no freaking idea what he'll do. Number two, if she does know him, she knows he's part of this notorious gang led by this bloodthirsty guy played by Tim Roth. Then she should know that he's perfectly capable of killing, which he demonstrated later in the movie by killing somebody. So that was annoying, but that's minor. Honestly, in the whole scheme of things, that's minor. It just kind of adds to my annoyance. So she takes off, she leaves, she goes and meets up with this traveling band of like gypsies and stuff because she and her father are part of this group. They do puppet shows. She hides out there. Well, the son apparently knew that she was connected with these people. So at some point, they all end up converging there on the little camp where the gypsies are, and she's hiding out. While she's hiding out, you have a flashback scene that shows what happened. It's showing how the day started. Her father wakes her up. She has to get ready for this show. Hold on a minute, my dog. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying the day started off. It's showing her the dynamic between her and her father, and she is quickly presented as, kind of like a teenager who she doesn't want to get up. She doesn't want to do the show. She's kind of grumbly. She's got an attitude. Her father wants her to eat with chopsticks. And so she decides she's just not going to eat because she doesn't want to eat with chopsticks. So she started to get on my nerves. At that point, she starts like, you little she was just a little turd. And then they're having the puppet show. And this group comes along the puppet show. Now you find out that they have stolen money. They have a couple bags of gold. They've stolen money. And she is apparently in collusion with some little kid that's part of the group, who you find out later she doesn't even know his name. Anyway, they're in collusion together. The little kid steals the gold without anybody noticing. I mean, how in the hell nobody noticed this kid come up and drag the gold away that was right behind the guys? You think they would have heard it? But whatever, this sort of stuff went on a lot. Kid drags the gold away. Then the guys notice the gold is gone. They go running off, and she meets up with the kid, and she hides the gold in her little wagon where she and her dad live and perform their little puppet show. They go along the trail. There is a log that's fallen in the middle of the road, so their wagon gets stopped. Meanwhile, the gang has figured out that it's someone connected with the camp. I think they might have even... I think that the son of the guy, yes, the son of the gang leader saw what was going on. He saw where she hid the money. So then they end up coming along and finding them stranded. And throughout this scene, it ends up culminating in her father getting shot in the gut with an arrow and dying. She takes off. That moment that she takes off, that's where the film had started. So basically you're seeing that the reason these people are after her is because she has stolen from them. Granted, they had stolen and she stole, whatever. It doesn't freaking matter to me. She stole from them. She brought all this chaos on herself. As a result of her actions, 4 innocent people get killed. And there could have possibly been a 5th if the son of the gang leader had actually gone back to the house and killed that woman that was there that he threatened to kill. Her father gets killed. 2 of the people in the gypsy area get killed. And the little boy ends up getting killed. And this is all because she and this kid have stolen money. I forgot to mention this. When her father got shot in the gut with an arrow, he sliced the gang leader in the side. So this whole movie, he's suffering from this injury. Anyway, at some point, there's a whole bunch of running back and forth and hiding and running here and running there and running. It's just a whole bunch of like going all over the place. It felt like one long chase. She ends up going back to the place where her father had been killed, where she had hid the money. Now, bear in mind, number 1, her father didn't know she had stolen this money. Number 2, he didn't see where she hid it. But somehow, she has figured out that the reason the money is missing from the hiding spot is because her father threw it up in the tree, looped it on some branches or something, threw it up there. And the reason she magically figured this out is because he had taken her samurai sword and tossed it on top of their little wagon and said something like it was going to be out of reach. So she somehow made this mental gymnastic, flip-de-doo and leaped and everything and figured out, oh, he threw it up in the tree because he threw my samurai sword up in the... Number 1, that was stretching the limits. Number 2, when she came back to where this scene had happened with her father, he seemed to be lying in the exact same position, completely dead, but somehow he wasn't dead, supposedly. So he dragged himself to where the money was. Mind you that he hadn't seen where she'd hidden it, unless by some chance that was just a hidey hole that they already knew about, that they both already knew about, and they magically got stopped there, of all places. But he would have had to have figured out that she had stolen the money, which I think he figured out when the gang came along, and he would have to know where she hid the money. But not only that, he's suffering from a wound, a terrible wound in the abdomen, an arrow through the gut. And he has the strength to drag himself where this money is hidden, get it out, and throw it up on the tree, and then drag himself back to where he had been lying before. And then that's where he died. Then she decides she's going to take revenge for the death of her father. Meanwhile, she'd been a little turd to him the whole time he was alive, pretty much. But she's going to take revenge. So she decides she's going to throw this money away. She's going to throw it in the lake. But she makes sure to take out a handful of gold to keep for herself. She rows out to the middle of the lake. She throws the money in the lake. And as it's sinking, she spits on the money. Like it's the gold's fault for everything that happened. It's her own freaking fault. Yes, these people shouldn't have killed, but she brought this series of events, she brought it on herself. So she decides she's going to be a samurai and avenge her father. And I'm sitting there thinking, girl, you should just commit seppuku. Such dishonor you brought on yourself and your father. Oh my gosh. So she takes revenge. And of course, she's able to kill all of them. And some of the setups for how she killed some of them were just like ludicrous in the extreme, involving an arm that had been cut off holding a gun. After it falls to the ground and it's there for a bit, the finger magically shoots the gun and it hits the guy she's fighting. And then that enables her to kill him. And then she's able to sneak up on this one guy hiding up in a tree. He would have noticed her in the periphery. She was moving. He could have just like, look, there she was. She manages to kill him and then this other guy. Anyway, she kills all of them except Tim Roth's character, who dies from his wounds. And then she goes off and she meets up with the gypsy people. Oh, by the way, the bad guys burned the gypsy people's camp down. So there's that also that was brought about because of her actions. So they're traveling away. They're just like walking away. And she joins them and she's talking and she says something to one of the gypsy ladies like, am I a killer? Well, yeah, you are. Not that I mind that the revenge was taken for what these people had done, because these people were clearly bad people, but she was not a likable protagonist. And then she said something about being a samurai. If she really wanted to honor this, yes, she should have committed seppuku. By about halfway through the film, I was ready for it to be over. And this is not a long movie. It's like an hour and a half. I was ready for it to be over because I was intensely disliking her. Very much. Like I actually wanted her to get killed because I wasn't rooting for her. And then actions that characters would take too that didn't make any sense. Like she knows these people are still after her, but when she goes back to the place where her father died, the little kid, by the way, he got killed because he got beat up and injured really bad by these people, but he was still alive at that point. And she puts him in the little wagon and then she decides she's going to lie down there and just like take a rest. Well, why? You know, these people are after you. Why? You could say, well, it's because she wanted to take care of the little kid. But before, when they had been running away from the bad people, the little kid got shot with an arrow and no, she did not stop. She took off. So you could say, well, maybe it's because she felt bad. Well, maybe because at that point she was like, I don't even know your name. Oh, well, you don't? Well, how sweet. She could have taken this kid to the gypsy people and then took off. But no, she stays there with him in the wagon and then he dies. And it's just like, I'm getting the feeling that there might have been some stuff that was edited out that would have helped to smooth over some of these issues, because I would go between being confused about why people were doing certain things to being angry that they were doing things that made no sense. It feels to me like if she knew this gang of people, that wasn't super clear at the beginning. She just saw these people and she saw the bags. So I had no clue that she knew of these people. I just, upon the first watch, it seemed like she and the kid had at some point colluded that they were going to steal from people. So I thought that was going on. But I'm thinking now that she knew these people, who these people were. They were a ruthless gang. It was known that a church had been robbed. So they had apparently decided before the events of the film took place that they were going to steal from these people. But I mean, the timing of all that and the decision to steal from people like that, she was stupid and she was selfish and she was ungrateful. She had a decent enough life with her dad. She was being cared for. She wasn't starving. She was just tired of her life. So she decides this is going to be the solution. And because of that, all these people end up getting killed. So yeah, I did not like this movie at all. There's probably more that I could pick apart about it, but I left the theater and I was angry. And I was angry when I wrote my review on Criticlist. I also submitted that review to other places, including IMDb, the written review, and they kicked it out. They didn't take it because I guess it was a little bit too spicy for their taste, whatever. And then I saw the rules, their IMDb rules for things you can't say. That's really stupid. That whole thing is crazy. I probably won't submit written reviews to them anymore because that's just dumb. But I was super annoyed by this movie. It's a shame because I will say some good things about it, which I kind of started off saying good things about it. The beginning was really good. I was very much drawn in. I was like, wow, I was super impressed. Then it started to have wobbly moments, like I said, where she came out from her hiding place too soon. But that could be forgivable if the rest of this film was rock solid, but it wasn't. The acting was good. I don't think there was any bad acting in here at all. Tim Roth was pretty convincing as someone you don't want to mess with. In fact, in the opening scene, when the gang is converging on the house, he slits one of his guys' throats. And at first you're like, whoa, what happened? And then I was like, okay, well, this guy obviously screwed up, and you find out that was the guy that had been hauling the money. So Tim Roth, he was vicious, and he did a really good job in here. And the girl who played Tornado, despite the fact that I could not stand her character and was actively hoping she would, she did fine in here. Everybody was fine in here. The guy who directed it was also the guy who wrote it. I don't know if he's directed anything else, but after this, I'm a little hesitant to check out something else he might have written or directed, because there was so much wrong with this film for me. It was just such an intensively annoying experience, and I decided that I don't care about spoilers. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Tornado. I wish I could have liked it, but boy, it lost me. I wouldn't mind discussing this with someone who has seen it. I know that Alan from Film Threat, I know he liked it. He recommended it. Ooh, I can't. Sorry, Alan. Yeah. So that's my long-winded rant. I'm going to go ahead and draw this to a close. I didn't mean to go on as long as I did, but I warned you I was going to do this. I think I've talked long enough. I'm going to pull the plug on this one. Bye.